Hello, hello, everybody. What's good? Happy Thursday, almost Friday. I see we're all connecting to audio. I'm sure you could probably hear me. We're starting to record. We're going to give it a couple more minutes for more people to join. And we are officially live on YouTube. The closer we're getting to the holidays, the more difficult it's going to be for people to make it on time. I know that a lot of people are probably doing their holiday shopping right now, so that plays a role. But tonight it's an important one because I'm going to be talking about anti-cancer, anti-diabetes foods, all the foods that are important. And I don't want anybody to think that what I'm about to present to you is only for anti-cancer or anti-diabetes. It's not. It's for overall health. And the foods that I'm going to present to you are going to be serving for overall health and will prevent disease, all diseases. But I think the most prevalent ones that we are worried about is diabetes, cancer. There's also heart disease, also cognitive decline. All the big ones we discussed at the beginning when we had our first session in the first week. So I want you to know that foods as made by Mother Nature, which we're going to be discussing tonight, are going to help with all those. And I'll discuss exactly what they provide that the body utilizes. All right. So we are at 8:01, at least according to my clock. Although between my laptop and my phone, there's 2 different times. So we're going to give it another couple of minutes. I see that everybody's coming in. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Thank you for joining tonight. Today has been a nicer day weather-wise. Thank you for joining, everybody. I hope everybody's doing amazing. We've had a really cold day yesterday, a really nice day today. So the oscillation, I just want you guys all to know, the oscillation in the temperatures are going to affect how you feel. A lot of people get sick at this time of year because this drastic variations in temperature, the body just doesn't have enough time to catch up. All the body's systems struggle to catch up to adjusting to all of that. The cold is actually very alkaline. So a lot of times that triggers the body to eliminate toxins, which we all know kind of manifests as sickness. So that's when people say they caught a cold. There's nothing to catch. You're not running after a disease to catch it. It just is your body's natural rhythm and function to eliminate what it doesn't need. And it does that really well in the presence of alkalinity. And the cold is quite alkaline and very healing. So I started saying, I'm going to start with that. I think it's 8:03. Mina, hello. Hello, everybody. Anish, Maruk, Marilyn. Hi, Mina. Hello, Mina. Mary. Basu, Frank. Hello, Frank. Hello, Roman. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So it's about 8:01 on my phone and 8:04 on my laptop. So quite the discrepancy. But let's begin. I'm going to give me a quick second, everybody. I have to share my screen and I have to adjust it. So let me do this. All right. 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna get set up here so that you can all see what I have for you guys tonight, which is a lot of information. We're going to be talking about health supporting foods. And remember what I've always said to you guys, what you put in the body expresses on the body. So if you're going to be putting foods, beverages, whatever it is that you put in, if you're going to put them in the body is going to express exactly that, right? So if you put in the body really good things express on the body. If I can ask everybody to put themselves on mute, just so that there's no interruption and there's no distraction for everybody else. Thank you so much. So again, what you put in the body expresses on the body and expresses in the body. Oftentimes we don't see what's happening internally. So for example, cancer is very rarely seen to the eye outside of the body, unless you have some sort of a skin cancer like melanoma. But oftentimes when we have cancers of, let's say, the any kind of system or any kind of organ that's all internal, we don't see it. If we have leukemia, if we have bone marrow cancer, if we have even when it comes to diabetes, right? It's a damaged pancreas. It's not, pumping out insulin, or the sugar stays stuck in the blood. We don't see any of that. And I guarantee you that if people were to be able to see what's happening on the inside, they would behave and act completely different. So I wanted to preface it all with that. Let's begin the presentation. As you guys all know, and my laptop is taking a little bit of time. That's me, your facilitator. I'm an author. I wrote a book about my journey in healing from a stroke back in 2011. I'm a holistic transformation health coach. So I call that transformation because it truly is a transformation. You have to transform the way you think about food. You have to transform the way you think about your lifestyle and what it actually takes to really get to a place of real good health, vitality, being strong, having a lot of energy. I'm also a nutritional consultant, so a nutritionist. This is the biggest component of my practice. I do a lot of stuff related to food, but I intertwine it a lot with the psychology of it, because oftentimes we think we eat out of psychology. We eat what we are used to eating. We eat based on what tastes good, because we're used to having those tastes and we have memories of them. So we eat by memory. So there's a lot more than just the foods that we eat. There's also the vibrational frequency of the foods, what kind of nutrients that they offer that interfaces with the body. I'm also a regenerative detox specialist, and this is one of the things that I deal with most when it comes to cancer. You will have to detoxify the body to make sure that the toxicity of the foods and everything that's in the environment does not go in and damage and mutate our cells that leads to cancer. And of course, I'm a holistic cancer practitioner. I talked to you guys briefly about that. I interned at a cancer center here in Ontario, up in Vaughan. Very eye-opening experience, and learned a lot by working alongside with the naturopathic doctors. And I practice what I call nutritional oncology. So it's nutritional, the nutritional approach to cancer. Now, let's go on to health supporting foods, because that's what we're here for tonight, right? So they play a crucial role. I really want everybody to understand. And just like I prefaced the whole thing, what we put in the body expresses on the body and affects our mental health, right? When we're not well, we can't think straight, we're worried, we have anxiety, we have stress. So foods play a crucial role not only in maintaining, but also enhancing our well-being, especially as we get older and we accumulate more toxicity, more stress, right, throughout our lives. And the foods that are most important and crucial have to be rich in essential nutrients, antioxidants, and bioactive compounds that protect us against chronic diseases. These foods also promote vitality and they support healthy aging. They can also help reduce the risk of conditions like cancer and diabetes, some of the most prevalent, biggest diseases, while they also strengthen the immune system, improve digestion, because a lot of us, suffer from digestion. We're talking bloating, gas, distension in the stomach area. and they also provide sustainable energy. You want to be able to get energy from your food so that when you go out and you have to be on your A game, if you're working or if you're dealing with people or if you're playing with grandchildren or anybody like that, you want to make sure that you have energy, even just to deal with everyday life, like cleaning the house. So if you incorporate these nutrient-dense foods in your daily diet, you're not only optimizing physical health, but also nurture the mental and emotional wellness. And you also ensure that you have a higher quality of life as you're getting older. So, like I said, just to sum it up, we protect against chronic disease, we promote vitality, we support healthy aging, and we reduce the risk of cancer and diabetes, two of the most important, but it supports more than just that. So you reduce the risk of so many other diseases when you eat healthy. You enhance the immune system so that it can keep all diseases at bay, even like a common cold or a flu. And you improve digestion and you provide sustainable energy to get through life. So here is one of the most important things. Let's talk about anti-cancer foods. But I want to say this. I don't want you to think that foods will just, what I'm about to present to you, that they just fight cancer specifically. No, they actually fight all diseases. And it's not like, for example, the things that, and in the next slide, I'll show you the foods and I'll go through them. They don't just go and say, oh, there's cancer, let me go and kill that. No, that's not how it works. What it does is it strengthens the immune system. It provides you with the energy that you need. And then the body itself goes and says, hey, this cell is mutated. It doesn't belong here. It actually doesn't provide anything for the whole body as an entire organism. Let's get rid of it. So the immune system does that work, not the food. The food strengthens the body. The food strengthens the immune system. It's the body that does the healing. It's the body that does what it's supposed to do, what it's programmed to do. So, but we call them anti-cancer foods just for the sake of people understanding that foods actually help us combat diseases. So these foods are a critical component of a good diet that's focused on health. And what it does, the food offers natural defense against the development and progression of cancer, much like I just mentioned right now, by strengthening the immune system. And they do that because they have a high content of phytochemicals, antioxidants, and other bioactive compounds that combat the growth of cancer cells, right? So once these cells mutate and they start to grow out of control, these foods will actually prevent that from happening. They also reduce inflammation, which is the #1 response of the body before disease sets in. So if you have inflammation, that's a warning sign from the body. That's why when a lot of people talk about inflammation, that's why it's your body saying to you, hey, you need to take action. So you have a warning sign. The foods also support the body's ability to repair and protect. So it repairs what's damaged. What it does is it gets rid of the cells, it recycles what's still usable, and then it eliminates the rest, right? That's why you have to detoxify. You have to get rid of the toxins that go and do that damage to the cells. Now, about phytochemicals, if you're wondering what those are, because I'm sure you are, it's obviously like a very scientific term. So just in simple terms, all plants, including fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, produce these phytochemicals, and that's what they're called. And what they are part of the plant's immune system. And what it does is that these things help protect the plant itself. It helps the plant protect itself from viruses, bacteria, fungi, parasites. So they have their own immune system because they're an organism like the rest of everything that's on planet Earth. Phytochemicals can offer us the same kind of protection, right? Antioxidants are actually scavengers. What they do is they go in the body, they look for free radicals that cause a lot of damage in the body and in the cells and in the systems. And what it does, it prevents or reduces the damage caused by the oxidation, by these oxidants, right? So if you include these foods in your daily meals, you help your body strengthen its defenses, the immune system. And you can also help reduce the risk of disease like cancer. So in this session, we're going to go over the vital role that these anti-cancer foods can play and how they promote health and well-being especially for seniors or for all of us as we age, right? Because like I said, we get a lot of toxicity as we go along in life. And the more time we spend on earth, the more we're exposed to really bad air quality, the more we're exposed to bad water that's full of all kinds of crap, the more we're exposed to foods that are sprayed with chemicals that cause all kinds of damage to the cells, and they start to mutate. So the more time we do that, all of that accumulates in the body, and eventually the body shows you, hey, you need to deal with this. So phytochemicals, in case you're wondering, because I explained what those are, so they're like the immune system of the plant to help the plants kind of combat their own, diseases. Things like curcumin and turmeric, that's a phytochemical. Just so you know exactly what I'm referring to. If you hear that term, think of that. It's the curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. The antioxidants are things like vitamin C that we find in fruits. So if you're eating an orange and people say, hey, that's an antioxidant, that's the vitamin C. Or if you're eating berries and they say, oh, that's an antioxidant, it's because it has a really high content of vitamins, minerals as well. So these anti-cancer foods, and I'm about to show you what they are, they help reduce inflammation, they support the body's ability to repair, it supports the body protect itself against disease, and it strengthens the body's defenses, which is the immune system, and provides sustainable energy. So without further ado, here they are. These are the most potent anti-cancer foods. So if you look at the typical foods that reduce cancer, it's pretty much all plant foods. You'll see on the list that I just provided you, and they all contain phytochemicals. And that's because the plant-based foods are high in fiber, nutrients, and of course, the phytochemicals that I just described to you, and all of those prevent cancer. So what I did is I put them in categories for you guys so that you understand that you don't have to eat, like if I say to you strawberries, no, all berries. Berries is the category, right? Because they all offer the same powerful anti-cancer properties. So let's go through them. They are berries, like I just said. So from the berry family, you could eat blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. And as you could see, they all have the berry at the end of their name. And all of those, if you've eaten much like we probably all have eaten those kind of fruits, they are not super sweet. They're actually quite tart, a little bit sour. So that shows you, much like an orange, it gives you a lot of vitamins. And because they're dark in color, that's where their power is. Grapes, the darker, the better. So the Concord ones, the black ones, those are super powerful. And I want to draw your attention right here. I took a screenshot from Medical News Today because they agree, right? The number one fruit for fighting cancer, so every detox specialist knows this, it's the mighty black grape. So because the Medical News Today agrees, I can tell you that it's true because I have used it in my practice. And if you want to have bigger conversation about that, please reach out to me after we're done this lecture. I'm happy to discuss it with you. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, those really green things that don't have much of a really good taste, they are so incredibly powerful. And they go and they do so much work. They also have, not only do they have a lot of vitamins and minerals, but they also have a lot of fiber. So they go inside your intestines and they kind of they're used as a broom. They go and they sweep away everything that gets stuck in there that you shouldn't have in your colon or anywhere in the digestive system, right? Herbs and spices, and a lot of cultures actually use these. Turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, very powerful, garlic, onion, coriander. Those things are so incredible. Coriander, or as we call it, because for some people we call it coriander, but for other people it's called cilantro. Those are heavy metal detoxifiers. So if you have a lot of metals in the body, that actually helps eliminate the metals out of the body. And typically metals, what they do, they accumulate in the brain, leads to Alzheimer's, dementia, things of that nature. So that's a very powerful antioxidant. Everybody should have that in their diet. Leafy greens. This goes back to what I talked to you guys in the first session and thereafter. Everybody should have a salad every day. Really, really important. Not only because you get the nutrients, but you get the fiber, and it provides you with something that's raw and it has not been damaged. The nutrients have not been damaged by heat and by cooking. So things like kale, spinach, arugula, spring mix, whatever you like. Just make sure you make a salad, get those leafy greens into your diet. And you could actually do 2 salads a day if you want to have one for lunch. And if you want to have one for dinner, even better. And green tea, for those of you that love tea and are tea drinkers, green tea is such an important and most powerful antioxidant. Make sure you get all of these things that I just described to you right now in organic. We already touched on the fact that when they spray all of this kind of stuff, it nullifies the nutrients and the powerful anti-disease properties when you're taking in chemicals that are going to actually go in and do the damage to the cells and start to mutate them. If you're going to try to eat berries so that you can actually take care of the cells, make sure that they get the nutrients and that, you know, they are kept healthy, you don't want to take in the chemicals at the same time, right? So very important, invest. Look at it as an investment in your health. A lot of times people have the mindset that, you know, organic is too expensive. But if you, believe it or not, if you are going to invest in organic, they have more nutrients, so you will have more satiety from those foods, which means that you'll stay fuller for longer. You're not going to have to eat as much. Whenever you eat empty calories or things that don't have the nutrients in them, your body's going to say, hey, you didn't feed me, I need more. And then you eat more. All right, so these are the most potent anti-cancer foods. I'm going to put this presentation for you guys in the WhatsApp group so that you have access to it. But these are the ones. And what I did is I even went and put pictures for you guys in case you don't know what they look like. This is all that I described here. So here's some broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Here's some spinach. This is kale, the beautiful, most important, mighty grape. Here's some ginger, turmeric, and some, my favorite, garlic. Let's go on to anti-diabetes foods, okay? So these are fundamental allies in managing blood sugar levels because that's what diabetes is all about. And they also reduce the risk of diabetes-related complications. We talked about that. If you guys remember, blindness, food ulcerations that leads to amputations of the legs or of the feet, neuropathy as well. So these foods have a low glycemic index, which means that they are low in sugar, so a low sugar index. They have a lot of fiber, which again is very important, and they have a lot of nutrients. And if you incorporate these foods in your diet, you can regulate your blood glucose levels, you improve insulin sensitivity, and you support overall metabolic health. You want your metabolism to run according to what it's supposed to run according to your age, right? So let's see which ones these are, what significance they have, and what role they play in promoting stable blood sugar and how they foster optimal health, especially as we age, because that's important, right? As we age, that's the most important time. Development has its role, but as we age, we want to make sure that we stay healthy when we become frail. That's super important. So these foods will manage blood sugar levels. They reduce the risk of diabetes-related complications that we discussed in previous sessions. They are low on the glycemic index, so low in sugar, high in fiber, keeps us regular. We're able to go to the bathroom, so we're not constipated, holding all those toxins inside our body. Lots of nutrients, right? They regulate the blood glucose level, so you're not always spiking your sugar and then crashing, no energy, you get lethargic. They also improve insulin sensitivity, and they support metabolic health so that we don't feel like, oh my goodness, I'm trying to lose weight and my metabolism is so slow, I can't get it going, and I can't lose weight no matter how much I diet, no matter how much I exercise. So all of these things play a role in hormonal health. So here they all are, my friends, the most potent anti-diabetes foods. As you will see, if you look at the typical foods that reduce and even reverse diabetes risk, it's pretty close to the anti-cancer foods that I just presented to you, because healthy foods do good to the body regardless of what disease we have. And remember the word disease, dis-ease. So that means that the body is out of its ease zone. The body is usually in ease, and then once something sets in, it takes it out of that ease, and that is usually what we call disease. All plant foods, because as you could see here, most of what I put there, with the exception of this piece of salmon right here, is plants. And remember, they all have medicinal properties and are high in fiber. A lot of people are constipated, and I don't think they recognize that when you have toxicity stuck in your colon, what happens is the longer it sits there, it's waste. It's stuff that the body says, okay, this has to get out of the body. But if it sits stuck inside your colon, the wall of the colon actually absorbs. So what it does is it's going to absorb all those toxins, all that waste into the wall of the colon. It ends up back into the blood. That toxic blood will then travel throughout the body, touches all organs, touches all cells, and it can lead to disease, mutations, damage to the cells. So it's so important that you eliminate on a regular basis. You do not want to retoxify your body. So that's why it's important. So you want to reverse some types of diabetes, and the best way to do it is with these foods. So I put them in categories again, because they're very similar to what I suggested for anti-cancer. So let's go through them again. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. What I said about cancer is that they're low in sugar. You want to stay away for those ones that are super sweet, super high in sugar, like dates or bananas, things that are super sweet. Yeah, those will spike your sugar. These, on the other hand, the ones that are tart, they are not as sweet as a banana or as a date because they don't have as much sugar. So the body even tells you, your taste buds will tell you. So blueberries, strawberries, blackberries are the best things. These you can use as your dessert. If you feel like having something sweet, these are the best things that you can go to. Again, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, very important. They give you a lot of fiber and they do not spike your sugar. Again, one ingredient foods. And for those of you that follow me on social media, I actually posted a reel yesterday from a bodybuilder. People who are in the bodybuilding and fitness industry, they actually pay a lot of attention to what they eat so that they can get the outcomes. So for those that eat to look a certain way, they eat the foods that will lead to them looking that way. And I can tell you right now, I've been in that industry. You never eat any junk food if you're going to be going towards a certain look. So if you want to optimize for a certain look, you eat a certain way. If you want to optimize for health, you eat a certain way. It works exactly the same. If you optimize for pregnancy for the ladies, you eat a certain way. If you optimize for running a marathon, you eat a certain way. So if you're looking to reverse diabetes, you have to eat a certain way. If you're looking to prevent cancer, or if, knock on wood, you are dealing with cancer, you have to eat a certain way to optimize your body's systems, especially its immune system, so that it can fight that, so that it can prevent that. If you're eating to optimize for anti-diabetes, you want to really optimize your pancreas. You want to optimize on what your body does with the sugar that's in the blood. Make sure it gets it into the cell so you can get energy. Non-starchy vegetables. So these I didn't put in cancer because I want you guys to understand that some vegetables have a lot more sugar than others. So the best ones, the ones that have a lot of starch, are things like potatoes, things like carrots. So the ones that grow in the ground are the ones that are typically starchy. So potatoes, carrots, beets, things like that grow in the ground, they're quite starchy. For those of you that are looking to reverse your diabetes or to maintain a better blood sugar level, non-starchy vegetables are your friends. Things like peppers, mushrooms, asparagus, all the vegetables that like typically grow above ground, like cruciferous vegetables. If you're going to do broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, if you're going to do peppers, mushrooms, asparagus, those are amazing. And herbs and spices. If you want to give your food taste, nothing is better than this. And I put in this category, and cinnamon would be applicable to anti-cancer as well. But cinnamon is actually really good for maintaining a really good blood glucose level. So it manages your blood sugar levels really well. If, for example, you drink coffee, instead of putting sugar in your coffee, you'd be so much better off if you were to put some cinnamon. It gives it that really nice flavor. If you enjoy cinnamon, I love cinnamon. It gives it that nice flavor, but it also helps manage your blood sugar level so it doesn't do this throughout the day, right? It keeps it more stable. Other herbs and spices, turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, once again, and that's really good for metabolism, ladies. Those of you that want to lose weight, cayenne pepper really fires up metabolism. And also the spiciness of it doesn't let you overeat. So if you put cayenne pepper on it and it gets spicy, like you're not going to be inclined to eat a lot of spicy food. So it actually works really well. Mother Nature thought of everything. Garlic, coriander, parsley, all those things work really well. And as you could see, none of them have sugar. None of them are sweet, right? Leafy greens, again, kale, spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, collard greens, whatever is a leaf and whatever is green that you find at the store, go ahead and buy it and consume it to your heart's content. If you want to get those big, and I've seen this, and I'm sure that many of you have seen, if you get those romaine lettuce, big leaves, and you put some stuff inside, like if you eat tuna fish, you could put some tuna in there. You could chop up some bell pepper, throw it in there as well, throw some cayenne pepper on it, sprinkle it on, maybe even add some garlic if you like that kind of thing, and then eat that. That's an amazing, really nutritious meal. Something like that is really good. No sugar, doesn't spike your sugar, and there you have it. You have nutrients, and then you have like medicinal properties from the foods that you just ate. Nuts and seeds, really important too. They provide you with a lot of good fats. So walnuts, really good for brain health. And as an aside, for those of you that want to discuss this in more detail, if you look at certain foods, they actually signify what they are good for. So speaking of walnuts, if you open a walnut and you look at it, it actually kind of looks like a brain. So they are really good for the brain, really good brain food. Pumpkin seeds, they have a lot of zinc, which is amazing for immune health. Almonds, macadamia nuts. Those of you that have been to Hawaii, they are in abundance there. They're so good for you. Pistachios, flax seeds. So I just want you guys to see you have a lot to choose from. You are by no means limited in what you could choose from. You have a lot of foods to choose from so that you could actually have nutrients, medicinal properties, satiety, and you don't ever have to worry about your blood sugar if you eat. But as you could see on this list that I just put here, nothing is processed. Nothing that I recommend to you comes from a box, a bag, a jar. They are all one single ingredient things that Mother Nature has put in perfect proportions. So the medicinal properties that you find inside these foods are perfect in their proportion. Lean meats. So those of you that eat meat, fish, beef, chicken, eggs, tofu, you have lots to choose from as far as protein is concerned. So you're not going to be lacking anything. And one thing that I really want to mention to you guys, because I didn't mention it last time, and I saw that Jaspreet, thank you so much. If you guys have seen, she posted a really great reel where I talked about the oils that you should be using for cooking. I really want to emphasize, do not fry things. Like deep frying is never, ever recommended by any nutritionist, by anybody who's looking to be healthy, ever. If you're going to be sauteing lightly, that's okay. But to deep fry things, if you're going to do that, it should be once in a very blue moon, once a year at best, once every 2 years, just because it's an indulgence, but not. So for those of you, my Indian friends, and one of my really best friends, she's Indian, and I know samosas are amazing and they taste really good, but they should not be deep fried. Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, red kidney beans. You have so much to choose from there as well. I mean, there's more. There's lupini. There's all kinds of different beans. Chickpeas are my favorite. You can make so much with all of them. I mean, everybody knows dal, one of my favorite things. So you have a lot of legumes, especially if you're not going to eat meat and you're a vegetarian or vegan. You can actually consume those, and they are an amazing source of fiber. Lentil soup, one of my favorites, which I'm going to be making soon as well. So again, you have lots to choose from. And as for grains, because I had this question once, quinoa is my go-to. Okay, so this is not going to spike your blood sugar. It has a lot of protein in it. It was actually, if you guys remember, there was a phase when they brought it out and it was considered a superfood. It still is. It's a great thing, especially for those that have diabetes. Consume this over your typical rice, pasta, breads, croissants, cereals, all kinds of things that are made with flour. Those things really spike your blood sugar. Grains, please go to quinoa. And if you want to eat pasta because you feel like you want to have pasta, They actually have pasta made out of different flours, right? Chickpea flour, lentil flour, quinoa flour. So you can feel like you have pasta, but it's actually made out of a better quality grain. All right. So when it comes to diabetes, I wanted to ask you guys, because there is a miracle drink that lowers blood sugar. So for those of you in the audience, please unmute yourself and take a guess. What miracle drink do you think lowers blood sugar? Who knows what that is? Just a guess. Anybody?
No idea.
No idea. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else that can think of the things that you drink throughout your day. So there's milk, there's coffee, there's tea, there's water, there's pop, there's alcohol.
I drink only water and what is called Ovaltine once a day with milk.
Okay. So milk, just so you know, I'll reveal the answer very quickly, but milk has a sugar. So lactose, anything that ends in ose, so fructose, sucralose, all of those things are sugars. So lactose is the milk's sugar. And a lot of times when people say that they're lactose intolerant is because they cannot digest that sugar. So for you, my friends that are battling diabetes, I recommend you don't do that kind of thing, especially the Ovaltine. And again, I've mentioned this to you before, look at the list of ingredients, look at the label to see how much sugar is in that. And sugar has so many names. I'm going to send you guys a thing that shows you exactly. I'll put it in the WhatsApp group so that you guys can see in how many ways that sugar is called so that they could hide it in the foods that we have. But yes, you're correct. The miracle drink that lowers blood sugar is none other than water. And I went online, and just so that you guys don't think that it's me saying that, here it is from Hartford Hospital. It actually lowers the blood sugar by giving us the sensation of feeling full. So a lot of times you drink and you think, or a lot of times you actually say, I'm kind of hungry. You go and you eat. And oftentimes most people eat things that have sugar. So again, you spike your blood sugar. You're asking your pancreas for insulin. So the pancreas is working throughout the day over time. But when you have that feeling of feeling full, especially after you say, oh, I'm hungry, you eat something. But if you were to drink water instead, you'd be like, I actually wasn't hungry. I was thirsty. So it reduces our intake of carbohydrates and sugar. And even this doctor right here, Zorabian, drinking more water will also increase blood circulation through our kidneys and filter out excess glucose, which is the blood sugar, through our urine. So there you have it. That's exactly what we were talking about. So that's the miracle drink that lowers blood sugar. My friends, throughout the day, you should be drinking, and I'm sure you've heard it, 8 glasses of water. However, I want to mention this because it's so important. And I had a conversation today with one of my friends. Drinking water from the tap does not hydrate you at all. The body, the cells are looking to get the charge. They're looking for minerals. So if you're going to go somewhere remote, out, not from your municipal, source from your tap, but if you go out into the wild, if you go somewhere very remote, water that comes from earth is not the water that we get at the tap. It has minerals. It's rich in so many things. So here's my recommendation, and I really hope you guys are taking notes. Put a pinch of salt in your water. That is how you hydrate the body. That is how you hydrate your cells. The cells will absorb that in right away. So a pinch of salt, and you could do pink Himalayan salt. You could do Celtic salt. You could do sea salt, like really good salts. None of the stuff that you see at restaurants, like table salt, not good at all. Not iodized, none of that. So Celtic salt, pink Himalayan salt, or sea salt. Those are the 3 best ones. And just a pinch in your glass of water each time you drink. So with each glass of water. So that is the miracle drink that lowers blood sugar. Now, really quickly, I have to rush through the rest. The best sources of health supporting nutrition is whole unprocessed foods, fruits and vegetables. Like I said, berries, dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables. Those are your top 3. Whole unprocessed grains. And again, I'm going to say quinoa is my go-to, and I recommend you all do that as well. So no rice, no pasta, no flour, no bread, none of that. legumes, and those are your beans, your chickpeas, your lentils, lean meats, so fish, beef, poultry, chicken, but make sure that you get unprocessed as much as possible. And remember, mainstream meats have a lot of stuff in them. And here's how. They actually inject these poor animals with a lot of antibiotics to prevent them from getting sick. When you eat that meat, you're also consuming the antibiotic, which you might not need, but it does throw things off in your body. They also put hormones in the meat. And the reason why they do that is because they want this animal to grow as big as possible. And when they slaughter it, the more meat there is in that animal, the more they could sell, the more money they could make. So I'm sure you can make the connection. And I'm sure you're not hearing this for the first time. But another very important factor that I want you to know is that we have the ability to go to a doctor. We have the ability to recognize what's happening in our bodies when we don't feel well, or we see something's wrong. These animals, especially of the sort of the food industry, they are kept in cages and they don't have people going to check if they're okay. That's why they mass inject them with antibiotics to make sure that they all prevent disease. However, oftentimes, because they sit in, let's say, environments that are not conducive to health, these animals get sick. They get cancers and they get diseases that we don't know about. Remember mad cow disease? You all remember that? It was in the news. So imagine if you go to the store and you buy ground meat, you don't know whether that poor animal had cancer in the part of the body that they ground up to make it into lean ground meat to sell to the store. So be very, very aware of what you buy. This is why I recommend you do organic. Make sure you go in your community, buy from farmers. Be very aware and cognizant. This is why you work with individuals that can actually teach you how to buy the best food. So that was really important about meats. Fats, which are very important, and fats are what the body uses to make hormones for the ladies and for the gentlemen. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. The body looks for good fats inside the cells, inside the digestive system, to create what we call testosterone, estrogen, so our sex hormones. And those come from nuts and seeds, avocados, flax seeds, things like that, not from oils. Those are processed. Remember, oil does not fall from the sky, doesn't grow on a tree, doesn't come from a bush. That is a processed thing, okay? And herbs and spices. Remember, turmeric, cayenne, ginger, garlic, coriander, parsley, all those things are so good for you. So this is what it takes to maintain a balanced diet that actually is conducive to achieving and sustaining optimal health and energy, right? So balanced diet ensures that your body gets everything that it needs, a diverse array of essential nutrients. So it gets vitamins, it gets minerals, and everything that it needs for proper functioning. And I really want you guys to see this for my friends who are from India, the Ayurvedic proverb: when diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. So think about that. If you are eating the wrong things, medicine is not going to help you. But when the diet is right, medicine is of no need. When you eat the right things, you're never going to need medicine. The food is the medicine. Remember, what did the father of medicine say? Let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. All right, so I just wanted to put some visuals together for you guys to understand. So this is what your plate should look like. If you eat meat, as you could see here, you have some Brussels sprouts, some broccoli, a little bit of quinoa, some leafy greens, some avocado, and some protein. And you also have a few beans in here, so you get even more fiber. So that's what a plate should look like for you to get all these nutrients, okay? And this is only if you eat meat. For my friends who eat fish only, like typically I only eat almost exclusively just fish. Every once in a while I'll indulge and I'll have something like a steak. But for the most part, fish is my go-to. This is what your plate should look like. So again, we have some red bell pepper here, some leafy greens, some spinach, you have broccoli, you have some more quinoa here, you have a piece of salmon, some avocado, and of course, this is a lime. It's great. You could put it on. You could also drizzle some olive oil on it so that you could get your fats in. But that's very balanced, right? There you have all the nutrients that you need. That's not going to spike your blood sugar to the, umptieth degree. It's not empty calories. You get a lot of nutrients that go inside the body, strengthens the immune system so you could fight off disease. And for my vegan and vegetarian friends who don't want to eat any kind of meat or don't want to eat any kind of fish, here is what you could do. So again, look at how much variety. Like instead of here where you see I put tofu, you could scrap the tofu and put a piece of fish and have it with, cherry tomatoes and quinoa and some cucumbers. And you also have some fats like the avocado there. You have some arugula and some leafy greens like spinach. So here is a great meal that you could have. And if you're vegan, you could go ahead and do some tofu. And again, make sure you get the organic. I don't have to repeat myself. And for today, I'm going to give you guys my recipe of the week, meal of the day, cancer and diabetes fighting salad. Again, salad. And I really want to emphasize because a lot of people don't eat salad. Everybody should eat a salad a day. So here are the ingredients. So kale, which is rich in antioxidants. I'm going to walk over all the nutrients and what they do so that you guys understand why I chose what I chose. So kale, rich in antioxidants, vitamins such as vitamin A, C, and K. It also has minerals, and these contribute to immune support, inflammation reduction, and bone health. So that's very important. It has a lot of calcium. Blueberries, as you could see, I put blueberries in the ingredients. They're packed with antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which have anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. They're also low in sugar and very high in fiber, and they support blood sugar control. Broccoli florets, they are hiding in there, but you will see them that they are in the ingredient list. So cruciferous vegetables, like we talked about, they contain sulforaphane, a compound that's associated with cancer prevention, in case you want to know what the nutrient is. It's also high in fiber. It aids digestion and provides a range of essential nutrients. And quinoa, which is a whole grain, is a complete carbohydrate. For those of you that want carbs, you're thinking, I can't just eat vegetables and meat all day long. Well, this is a complex carbohydrate, very low on the glycemic index. It also has fiber, protein, and so many vitamins and minerals. It makes it a diabetes-friendly option. So for those of you that are battling diabetes, this is your go-to, and this is what I would always recommend. So it provides all the essential nutrients that you need, and it supports sustained energy. Almonds are a source of healthy fats. They also have fiber and protein. They contribute to feeling full, and it helps appetite. It helps your appetite, and it stabilizes the blood sugar. As you could see, for the dressing, I put olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Olive oil contains monounsaturated fats, which have cardiovascular benefits. We're going to be talking about this later on when we're going to be doing oils. The balsamic vinegar adds the flavor without excess sugars. It supports a heart-healthy and diabetes-friendly dressing. So for those of you that are wondering, how do I dress my salad? That is very simple. 2 ingredients. And if you don't want to do the balsamic vinegar, you could do olive oil with lemon, or you could do apple cider vinegar with mother, the organic type. So how do you incorporate anti-cancer and anti-diabetes properties in your diet? Well, you get a lot of fiber content, high fiber. So the salad like this one, rich in fiber from the vegetables, from the berries, from the quinoa. So I'm giving you a lot of fiber. It helps you go to the bathroom really well. It helps regulate blood sugar levels. It supports your digestion, and it contributes to feeling full. So you're not going to overeat, because if you eat empty calories, you're going to be like, well, I'm not full yet. Antioxidant rich ingredients, so berries, kale, broccoli, very rich in antioxidants. They combat oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. You also have balanced macronutrients. So I've included a variety of food groups in there so that you can be sure that you have a balance of micronutrients. You have your carbs, you have your proteins, you have your fats. You promote overall nutritional health. You keep your digestion going, you keep your metabolism going. So why is it great for seniors? Well, you have nutrients, it helps your digestive system, it helps your heart heart health, blood sugar management, which is so important as we age, my friends. So it offers a delicious and well-rounded combination of ingredients, and that specifically targets cancer fighting and diabetes fighting, while it provides you with all the nutrients that you need and medicinal properties. So there you have it. Those are the most important foods that you can eat. I promise I'm going to put this in the WhatsApp group so you guys all have access to it. And I'm available there. Please text anytime. And the best part of the evening, your questions. I hope you brought them. This is my favorite part right here. Who's got questions? Let's hear it.
Well, I have two questions. One is, how about if I steam the broccoli and the kale in that salad, because I can't eat them raw?
Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly how I eat my my broccoli. That's exactly how I eat my my green beans. That's exactly how I eat my Brussels sprouts. And what you could do, and I did this for my kids, they love it. I would drizzle a little bit of olive oil. I would crush some garlic, and I would add a little bit of salt and pepper, of course, and some lemon. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. You got
Well, anyway,
antioxidants.
I like olive oil, and I also
Yes.
like vinaigrette. So dressing, so it wouldn't make a difference. I would just put a little bit of that.
Yeah, Perthi. So make sure you get a good quality olive oil, okay? Cold pressed. Very
Yeah,
important.
cold pressed virgin oil.
Yes,
Okay.
extra virgin.
I
Absolutely.
was going to ask you, can I use avocado oil also on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Avocado oil, olive oil, all the good oils. Remember, no seed oil. So no sunflower seed oil, no peanut oil. But avocado oil is great. Olive oil is great. And remember the two rules for oils. Avocado oil can be used for heat. Olive oil, raw only. So great for salads, great to put on anything that you steam, like your broccoli. Olive oil is the greatest, and it's of course aromatic, but it does not take heat very well.
But
It
you say
destroys
avocado oil from seed, you said? What did you say?
I said that you should not be eating seed oils. So things like peanut oil,
Yeah.
sunflower seed oil, like those go rancid very quickly.
Yeah. But what about the nuts, like peanuts or sunflower seeds?
They are so much better when you eat them the way that Mother Nature made them instead of processing them. So if you want to eat some sunflower seeds, absolutely sprinkle them in your salad. They have a lot of fiber.
What about roasted peanuts with a little bit of cayenne pepper on it and salt and cayenne
Perfect.
pepper?
I love the cayenne pepper on them. Perfect. Absolutely. Especially if you roast them yourself at home.
Yeah. Thank you.
Preeti, so nice to
I
see
have
you.
a question.
Yes.
What about the sesame oil?
I know that's very big in Chinese food, but I would have it. I would not expose it to heat. I would not cook with it. I would not risk applying heat to it and destroying its nutrients. A lot of these things can turn carcinogenic very quickly because you destroy the nutrients and now you're turning it into something it's not supposed to be. So if you want to sprinkle because you want to get the taste, absolutely sprinkle, like drizzle it on the food, but I would not recommend you cook with it.
And another question is, like, when I eat these leafy vegetables and even with the steam, it gives me gas kind of air.
Yeah, so a lot of vegetables lead to that. So make sure one of the ways to eliminate gas, make sure when you eat slowly and chew your food really well. What we do is when we eat fast, we take a lot of air with our food. So that goes in the stomach and it ends up in your intestines along with the food. So there's going to be pockets of air and then food and pockets of air and food. So that air is the gas. And oftentimes it either comes up or it goes the other way, right? So you either have gas coming up like burping or you pass gas the other way. So slow down your eating and chew your food really well.
I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, for an underactive thyroid, cruciferous vegetables are not good, right?
I would say for an underactive thyroid, you're talking about the nightshades. I would say that cruciferous vegetables, because of their nutrients, are always good. The underactive thyroid has other issues. Typically, the number one thing that's missing from the thyroid is iodine. So you're looking for iodine. That's the favorite food of the thyroid. But it has to be a good source of iodine. So sea vegetables offer that really well. But I would not stop eating things that have a lot of fiber and things because you have an underactive thyroid. You do not want to damage the rest of your immune system or the other systems of the body just for the sake of the thyroid. I would go and I would strengthen the thyroid, and I would eat some of the things that are important, especially foods that are high in iodine, but I would not stop eating cruciferous vegetables that offer so many nutrients.
What are the foods that are strong in iodine?
So dulse is really good.
Sorry?
Dulse, D-U-L-S-E, dulse,
Okay.
that's a sea vegetable. If you eat oysters, things like that, so anything from the sea where there's iodine, and you could also take an iodine supplement. But
Mhm.
make sure you consult a practitioner so that you could take it in good quantities, proper dosage. But that's typically what you're lacking is iodine.
Okay, thanks.
I was going to ask you one more question.
Of course.
A lot of people eat with fruit salads, I mean, fresh fruits and fresh green leafy vegetable salads, cottage cheese. So, and I personally also like cottage cheese with strawberries, blueberries, and also with broccoli and, vegetables, leafy vegetables, tomatoes and stuff like that. But is it okay?
It's okay if you can stomach the cottage cheese and you don't have any issues digesting
No, seems to agree with me very well.
If it agrees with you and your body likes it, then you can go
Yeah.
ahead and have it. Absolutely.
Okay.
I would still pay attention. Make sure that, pay attention when you eat. Like, for example, when you mix the cottage cheese with fruits, does it feel different than when you mix it with leafy greens?
Well, with leafy greens, it's more soury, but with cottage cheese, it kind of blends, brings down the sour and the sweetness of the fruits. So
Yeah.
it makes it a little more creamier.
Okay, so remember what I said to you guys. The meat, not the meat, but the milk of any animal is meant for that animal. So milk, by and large, even for our babies, it helps growth. So milk typically helps the growth even of tumors. So be very careful. Don't consume it in abundance. Not every day, not a lot. I know a lot of people have cheese addiction. Cheese, of course, is addictive because it's good.
I just take 1 tablespoon of cottage cheese.
That's perfect. 1 tablespoon is not a lot. You're good.
Thank you.
Simone.
Yes, Preeti.
Sorry, for some strange reason, I thought the thing was going to start at 8:30, and all day I was waiting for this session, and I completely missed the entire session. Can you just repeat that small part about salt and water? What the Himalayan?
Oh, yes, yes.
Please.
So, water, like the cells look for an electric charge. It looks for electrolytes. That's why we call them electrolytes. They actually look for that electrical charge. That's how the cells pull the water into the cell itself, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you see that people drink a lot of water and then they go and they pee. So the more you drink, the more you pee. That means the body's not going into the cells for the cells to actually get hydrated. You just eliminate it. It goes through your system, like through the stomach, and then out it goes, right? However, if you're going to be putting a little bit of salt so that the cells get that electrical charge they're looking for, then they can pull the water inside the cell. So in order to give it that electrical charge, so in order to have the electrolytes, you could put some sodium bicarbonate to make it alkaline. You know how people buy alkaline water, which has nothing in it? That's how you can make it alkaline. So you could put a little bit of that, but definitely salt. And the best salt, I don't want you to think that you could just get table salt. That is cheap salt. And if you have the time to do the digging and the research, they found a lot like that's mixed with sand, things that are not good for the digestive system, right? But if you're going to be going to get salt, the top 3 salts are pink Himalayan salt, make sure it's real, because there's a lot of fake stuff like that out right now. Celtic salt, that's a really good one, and sea salt. So these have a lot of minerals from the sea, right? That's why salty water, when you go, it feels really good. The body pulls it right in, it's cleansing. So that is how you hydrate really well.
Why not?
So you put it in your water, like a little bit in your cup of water, or is that what?
Yep. Just so
Okay.
you could do just a pinch, just with your
Okay.
hand, or if you
Oh.
want, take like a quarter of a teaspoon, like a corner of it, and put it in. Because
Oh.
what you want to do is you want to hydrate at cellular level. At
Yes.
cellular level, you want the cells to get hydrated. Otherwise, you guys, you know what happens? So the cell, like imagine a grape, okay, which is full of water, it's juicy, right? What happens when you take the hydration out of that? It shrivels, right? That's what happens to skin. When you see that a lot of people look shriveled up, it's because the skin is looking for hydration and it doesn't have it. So if you want to hydrate properly, make sure you put some salt in your water. And I'm talking not just once, but every single time you drink water, put a little bit of salt in your water, a little bit. So make sure you don't drink it out of plastics. Plastics are, hormonally disruptive, and the salt breaks down because the salt obviously does that. It's going to break down the plastics. So drink it out of glass, drink it out of metal, or drink it out of whatever, ceramic, whatever you have at home. Like this is one of my cups, it's made out of metal, and that's what I drink out of.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I heard.
So the tap water with the pinch of salt is okay?
It's okay. That's all I will say. But tap water has a lot of things in it. So I discussed this last time. I don't know if you were on the call last time. So think of it like this. If people that take medications, drugs, drink lots of alcohol, they have diseases, they go to the bathroom, they pee in the toilet, that water goes to the municipal water system, like it goes, into the system. It goes through municipal filtration systems, which are not very sophisticated. So they don't remove all the stuff. They add chlorine to it. They add all kinds of other chemicals. So a lot of times the sophistication of the filtration systems is not such that it can remove the viruses, the bacteria, feces. People go into their toilets and they do a lot of stuff. They throw up, they do number 1, they do number 2. The filtration systems of the municipal departments are not sophisticated enough. And if you go and do research and you look at the pipes that this water goes through, it'll turn you off. You'll never drink water from the tap again, ever. And you won't cook with it either. So I will say it's okay. Like you don't want to dehydrate where you're going to die, because you do need water. So if you're in a life and death situation, absolutely. But otherwise, I suggest to everybody, all my clients that I work with in my home, I've always had it. You need to drink water through a filter. You want to be able to remove the chlorine. You want to be able to remove the fluoride. You want to remove as many impurities out of it as possible, so you could have good, clean water. Even if you can do a Brita, it's better than nothing. I mean, it's better that you get the highest level of filtration, but Brita is better than nothing. It's not my favorite, but it's still better than nothing.
People drink.
And the salt brings the blood pressure high, right? Drinking every time salt in the water can rise the blood pressure high, and salt is not good for blood pressure.
Actually, to be able to take care of blood pressure, I would say take some magnesium. So what you are lacking is you are lacking minerals in the body. And mineral, magnesium is a relaxant, so it relaxes the blood vessels. Because what happens is they get constricted like this, especially for people that are very nervous and stressed. When you take the magnesium, that can actually relax. And then the blood can flow through those blood vessels much easier because they're not tight like this. So that
Yeah.
means that it's really hard. It's like a hose, right? But when you take the minerals that are necessary in the body, those can actually relax. So most of the time, it's got nothing to do with salt. It has to do with
Exactly.
deficiency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Simone, because this was a very big issue that I had been reading up on this water thing, and
Mhm.
I ended up getting this RO system in my water, and I was very happy with it till I realized that now all the minerals have been removed from it. So I'm like, okay, now this is a demineralized water that I'm drinking, so I do need to put back some minerals into it.
Mhm.
So in India, we have an age-old system of putting an earthenware, like a pot or something, and then you put water into that, and then the earthenware pot is supposed to have all the minerals because it's Mother Earth. And then I even ended up putting a small bar of silver and a small bar of gold, and in my copper vessel and all to add minerals to it. But
Perfect.
then, I fortunately happened to connect with Barbara O'Neill over her.
Oh,
Oh my God,
amazing.
she is. And every time I talk to
Amazing.
you, and I'm like, you remind me of her. And that's when I realized that. And today was a very important day because when you said you add salt to it, this is exactly what I had in mind, because the Himalayan salt has about 83 minerals or 84 minerals or
That's
whatever.
right.
And I'm like, if this can be added, but then I wasn't sure how many times and how what doses. And now that you say just a tiny pinch, like a few grains also is going to add something good to the water, instead of just drinking. So I think this has been a very, very good day for me, because this was a very big search for me, and I think you ended that. So I'm very, very happy.
Thank you so much for that, Preeti. And it's very humbling that you actually say that about me, about Barbara O'Neill, because she's amazing. She's just such an amazing human being and incredibly smart. But yeah, so for that, for example, people that have high blood pressure, I would say, put salt in your water, have magnesium, and in water you can also put, so like I said, a really good blend for everybody, but the most basic that you should have, the minimum should be salt. It would be good if you could put potassium, and you could find that if you've ever gone to the store and you see that it's called no salt, that has a lot of potassium. So that is also something good that you could put in your water. The same
Is there
thing.
like a mg? How many mg? Like it's a how many?
Just a pinch is perfect. Half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon is good because it's no salt, right? So it's not a salt, it's potassium. That's another mineral.
Magnesium, how do we add magnesium? Buy magnesium from the market?
Magnesium you can take as a supplement, as an aside. Everybody should take that every day. Everybody's deficient. Like 99.999% of the population is deficient in magnesium. People who have headaches, take magnesium, take your salts, your headaches will go away forever.
Oh, I do have them, yeah.
100%.
I'm always dehydrated.
Yeah.
For some strange reason from years, yeah.
Yeah. So for water, salt, so either pink Himalayan, Celtic, or sea salt.
Yeah.
No salt for potassium, and sodium bicarbonate to make it alkaline. If you put those three things in your water every day, you are winning.
And sodium bicarbonate is again available in the market as a
yes. Just make sure that it's the one without. Get the one that doesn't have aluminum, so organic, no aluminum.
So any particular brand that you suggest? I mean, instead of me going.
I have one, but I would have to look at it right now. It's pure.
Send it over WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'll take a picture and send it in the WhatsApp group. But yeah, make sure it says on it no aluminum. That's very important because that's a metal that goes to the brain.
Yeah. So just do me a favor, all of us a favor on the WhatsApp group. Just put a list of all these things like the Himalayan.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. Like how to make your water alkaline, because that is my search. How to make my water alkaline. Yeah.
Yes. Very, very important, because otherwise, and like I said, you will see once you start drinking that, you will see you're not going to go pee as much.
Oh wow.
Your cells are going to take it in, and you feel satiated. You will really quench your thirst.
Oh wow. Perfectly. Yeah, because the cells are absorbing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're not looking necessarily for water. They're looking for how they can get it's like if I can give you guys an example, it's like the cells are looking for insulin to get the blood to get the sugar into them. If you don't have the insulin, you have to take it from outside, right? That's why people take insulin, so that they can get the sugar out of the blood into the cells. The same thing happens when it comes to water. They need the salt to get it into. If you really look at it, the cells are not looking, it's like almost like a gelatinous kind of mixture that goes into the cell. The body does its processes. It's not really water, just empty water that you drink. It's never, that does not hydrate anybody. That's why a lot of people pee, especially diabetics.
Perfect.
Simone,
Yes, my
I
dear.
have a question.
Mhm.
Instead of adding salt to create the electrolytes in the water,
Mhm.
why can't we buy that pouch electrolyte packets that we get in drugstore and put a pinch of that every day when we drink, like when we have diarrhea or extreme runs, usually doctor recommend you to take
Yes.
that to,
Yeah, because when you have diarrhea, think about it. How is diarrhea made? It's very watery, right? Very runny. So your body pulls all the water out of everywhere to make
Yeah.
sure that it gets all of that out of the colon. And oftentimes it's because you have, like, for example, if you have food poisoning, it means that the body says, oh, there's something so dangerous inside the body right now. Stop everything you're doing, pull what you need, get this out of the body. So you get the runs. It comes just as long as the body can get it out, right?
Mhm.
Yes, the reason why they recommend that you do electrolytes is because a lot of times people get dehydrated when they have diarrhea. So
Yes.
so this is why. Otherwise, doctors would say what? Drink water. But
Yeah.
it's the electrolytes. That is what the body needs. You need electrolytes. The same thing as when babies have fevers. What does the doctor say? Pedialyte, which has electrolytes. You need to be well hydrated. But Parthi, so if you go to buy those things, what I would do, I mean, I usually just put my salts because to me that's important, and I know that provides us with everything that we need.
So this is just a question to ask.
Yeah. So look at the list of ingredients. What is in those electrolytes? Like, where do they come from? Is it like a chemical based something that was put together in a lab, or is it real salt? Is it real potassium? Is it real sodium bicarbonate? Is it clean? That's why I'm big on making my own stuff at home, because I know what goes in it. But if you are in a bind and you're out on the road and you don't have access to salt and sodium bicarbonate and potassium, absolutely do that. It's an emergency. But don't rely on that on an everyday level. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you guys the recipe in the WhatsApp group so you guys can.
That's a movie.
You have to wait till the webinar is over.
Huh?
Webinar has to be over.
All right, my friends, any other questions? If you think of any other ones, put it in the WhatsApp group. I'll respond to it there as well. But as soon as I get off the call, I will put the recipe for the water that I told you guys. Make sure you get your minerals. So I'll put that in there. I also want to drop that thing that I told you guys, the many names of sugar. It would be so much easier if they would just say sugar, but they don't. It has many names. And that's how, if you look at ketchup, it's got so much sugar in it. It shouldn't, but it does. So I'll put that in as well. And I will put the presentation in there as well so that you guys have a look at it. And if you have any questions, make sure you refer to this. You saw I put together the groups, the family groups of foods that you should eat. And like I mentioned, and I'm going to mention it again because I want to repeat it and emphasize it. You guys have a lot to choose from, a lot. So you could never go hungry. You have a lot of foods that are medicinal. You have a lot of foods for satiety. You have a lot of foods that will help you fight cancer. You have a lot of foods that will reverse diabetes. You have a lot of foods that will keep the blood sugar low and level. You have a lot of fiber. You have a lot of vitamins, minerals. I gave you all the body needs for health and for energy. And if you have any questions, please, like I said, I'm just one message away in WhatsApp. I'm happy to answer and help. And if you guys saw, I put together, like I sent you guys the link for thermography. If you're interested in doing thermography, there's one here that you could go to.
And this whole presentation is also going to be there on the on
Yes,
the-
I'll put that in there. Yeah. So you guys have all this, like the foods, like everything that's listed. You have the recipe of the week. So you can put together recipes yourselves from all the foods that I have listed there. If you want some, like I said, if you want dessert, just have some berries. It's perfect.
Mhm.
It'll actually get enough sugar from them in your blood for your body to say, oh, okay, I feel better. I was craving
Mhm.
something, but I feel better now.
Mhm.
And you made a good choice.
Thank you.
Thank
you're
you. This
welcome, guys.
this is really helpful.
You're very
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
You're very welcome. I will see you guys next week
Yes, at 8
Thank-
o'clock.
at 8 o'clock, Preeti, 8 o'clock,
I
not
know.
8:30.
I know, I
Every
feel like-
single,
I
every
feel
single
like a fool,
Thursday.
I
That's
waited
okay.
all day and then I forgot.
That's okay. You can connect with me if you have any questions. I'm happy
I
to
will.
talk to you. But yes, every week on Thursdays, it's always at 8 o'clock.
Yes, yes.
Next
Okay, and
week,
and if
next
you have
week,
anybody that you want to invite from, if you have people that are on another, like for example, on the West Coast, Vancouver, make sure you let them know it's Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, Parthi, what were you going to ask about next week?
what's the topic?
Blood sugar. Blood
Again,
sugar. Yes.
same-
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's very important. Remember what I mentioned in previous sessions.
Yeah.
Cancer loves sugar. Cancer
Mm.
loves sugar.
Yeah.
That it's its favorite food, and it's the one thing that is going to help it thrive. And that's why I'm afraid for people that have diabetes, because they have a lot of sugar stuck in their blood, and that puts them at risk. So it's very dangerous to have that. Like typically diabetes is the precursor. Oftentimes people who are diabetic, they get like obese, and then afterwards typically like cancer is just waiting around the corner. So sugar, especially in the blood, very, very important to make sure you manage that. So I really want to touch on that every single day.
Yeah.
And that's what I showed you guys today. The foods that I showed you, they maintain blood sugar levels very stable. It's not going to spike anything. It's not going to ask your body for a lot of insulin. It's not going to put any of your organs or body systems, in distress by asking too much of them. So that's why it's important that you.
What about raspberries, Simone?
Perfect. Raspberries, part of the berry family.
Because I didn't see in our list here anywhere we
All
had
the-
berry.
all the
Berries.
berries, blueberries, golden berries, raspberries,
It
blackberries.
doesn't stay very long. It just, you can't keep it for more than 2 days.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
When
the
you
problem.
buy them, eat them.
Right away. But is it okay to consume more than 3 or 4 or 6 raspberries?
Oh yeah, just remember, like on average, and most people never meet their requirements, you should actually take in 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, not per week, not per month, every day. And a lot of people don't. They eat bread, they eat pasta with meat, and some tomato sauce, and they're like, oh, I had a meal. It's like, but you didn't have anything that's really, medicinal and good for you. So 5 to 10 servings a day, most people don't get that. So yes, don't eat 2 or 3 or 4. Eat
Mm.
like a cup.
Okay. What about pineapple?
So pineapple is higher in, it's really good for digestion, really, really good. It has a lot of enzymes. However, it is higher in sugar. So that's why I didn't put that on the list. It's
see.
good. You can indulge in that once in a while, but I would recommend for everybody here, and the best of the best is the berries and the grapes. The
Oh.
grapes, for any of you that want to talk about that, connect with me offline. I will tell you, I use that like through and through for anti-cancer.
But you don't get Concord grapes all through the year. You get only
No,
summer.
that's right. However, if you're in dire straits, like for example, knock on wood, if you're dealing with cancer, there are stores, organic stores, health food stores that have Concord grape juice, and that's your second best, and it works really well.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my friends. Have an amazing rest of the night. Please
Thank you.
connect with me if you need anything else answered. I look forward to seeing you all next week when we're going to talk more about the power of nutrition. And remember, food is your medicine. Medicine is food.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. Take
Thank you.
care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.